On today's episode of Scary World, we break down the new stop-motion horror movie, appropriately titled Stopmotion.
Such a morbid imagination, bringing dead things to life.
Stay tuned. Welcome to Scary World, where we walk you through the latest and greatest in the world of horror. I'm your host, Arturo Padilla.
Hi.
Before we get into it, we have one major rule around here. No spoilers.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil the surprise.
Now that we got that out of the way,
We got some rules around here.
remember there are 5 categories: production, story, ensemble, horror, and legacy. Every category can earn up to 2 points.
Showtime.
Per IMDb, the synopsis goes, a stop-motion animator
Stop motion animation.
struggles to control her demons
They're demons. It's a demon bar.
after the loss of her overbearing mother. Production.
Look at me!
This movie was directed by Robert Morgan. His previous works include a slew of short stop-motion animated films. This one is his first full-length feature film, and it is a complete success.
There's a girl. She's scared.
My goodness, this movie was really good. Aside from being just overall really good, it looked fantastic. Every shot in the movie was thoughtfully and beautifully composed. Mr. Morgan has that very artistic eye. His previous stop motion works have allowed him to have a sense of framing and composition like no other. And this movie is no different. This time around, he's using live characters as well as stop motion characters, and the blend is absolutely beautiful. It's a unique look to it. It's a unique concept overall. The way that stop motion and live action are used to tell this story is absolutely fantastic. Aside from it being well executed, this movie also had excellent sound design. The noises and the sounds when the movie transitions to stop motion are just so eerie, so haunting. Just adds another layer of depth to this movie. And our main character is making the stop motion figures and making those characters and those sounds and squelches that the material she's using makes is very on point and adds to the atmosphere of this movie. And for this excellent execution, this movie gets a 2 for production. Story.
I want a story. A story about what?
The script was written by Robin King as well as Robert Morgan.
What's all that stuff?
It's called stop motion animation. What do you think?
It's a bit boring.
It's not finished.
It's well structured. It's well paced. The film runs just a tad over 90 minutes. It's just, you just go right through it. It's a wild ride, and the fact that there's no stop and go, it flows extremely well. All 3 acts hit the proper beats when they need to. The story flows well. The acts flow very well. The story uses familiar relationship dynamics and themes to frame this story. The stop motion that's weaved into this story helps drive it, and helps with the horror, and helps just adds this other layer of storytelling that you just don't have with live action. Blending the two together so well in the story, going from Ella's story to Ella's movie, back to Ella's story, and kind of just, crossing that line there was just really well done. The ending of this movie as well, in my opinion, was very good. Very well done, very well put together. For story, stop motion gets a 2. Ensemble.
Everybody's a suspect!
The entire cast does a good job with their roles. They really understood their characters and they hit their marks. The mother does a good job of being this antagonist. I wish they would have stayed a little bit more with the mother and with Ella and that relationship. I think it would have helped a lot with the themes here in this movie. They should have tried to have a couple of more scenes with the mom and with Ella to really hammer home the emotions that Ella goes through later on in the movie. And there wasn't anything really special about these performances, but Ella Blake, the main character, portrayed by Aisling Franciosi, she did a really good job anchoring this movie and making sure that this thing stayed watchable, because it could have gone off the rails really quickly if you didn't have the proper the proper cast behind these characters. I think Aisling did a fantastic job with her role and making sure that this train kept on rolling. Like I mentioned before, I do wish they would have had more of Aisling's character Ella and her mom, at least one or two more scenes to really hammer home that broken relationship that's really stressed throughout the entire movie. For ensemble, this movie gets a 1. Horror.
Is it scary?
This film had loads of practical horror. This is one of the highlights of this movie, is the practical gore, the practical effects, the stop motion gore and stop motion effects as well.
I want to go. I want to go.
Everything looked very good. Everything was well executed in terms of the practical effects. The stop motion, as mentioned before, adds this layer of horror to everything because of just the look of it. It's very gnarly. There's also a lot of really good body horror in the second half of this movie. With the stop motion, there's these scenes where there's live action and stop motion interaction, and it just looks fantastic. The design of these stop motion characters, specifically also the Ashman, which is the monster in Ella's movie. It looks really cool, man. It looks really gnarly. It has an impact to it that when you see it, you kind of just shiver and you freak out a little bit, because it has this just horrific look to it, and it's super impactful. Same for the stop motion character in Ella's movie as well. The actual protagonist, there's this look to it that just evolves within the movie. I won't ruin that for you guys. It's really cool and just really gnarly. And as that character evolves, so does our character Ella, and her personality, and the Ashman as well evolves and goes from this very simplistic stop motion kind of clay look to this just monster that we end up getting. And it is absolutely fantastic. As mentioned before as well, there's loads of body horror in this movie in the second half specifically. When things start going downward spiral for Ella, the horror just stands out so much. It's so impactful. It goes to show that when things are done right, and when money and budget is used correctly and put towards practical effects and all the very cool stop motion material used, you can come up with one heck of a horror movie. And this movie just proves that. I love the look of all the body horror, of all the gore, all the blood. It's impactful. It makes the scenes just top notch. It elevates the entire movie. For horror, this movie gets a 2. Legacy.
What do you think?
This was a really good horror movie. A really good horror movie. The best one of the year so far. I can safely say that. This movie was awesome. It had everything you wanted in a horror movie. It had the gore, the blood, the vibe, the atmosphere, the monster in it, the kills. Everything you really want in a horror movie was here, all nicely wrapped up in a neat little package. But to be honest, I was a little worried walking into this movie. It looked so artsy with the stop motion that I was concerned that it would be too artsy. This has it all, folks. And for Legacy, this movie gets a 2. So to tally it up, Stop Motion received a 2 for production, 2 for story, 1 for ensemble, 2 for horror, 2 for legacy, bringing the score up to 9. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was captivating from start to finish. I did not expect to be hanging on to every single frame of this movie, but I wanted more. I really loved how they mixed the live action with the stop motion animation. It looked great. The sound editing was great. The film was just excellently put together. The story was really good. It was simple, but you needed that in order to frame this crazy stop motion nightmare that our character went through. This is the first great horror movie of 2024. And I'll stand by that all day. This movie was awesome, folks. And when you have a chance to see stop motion, please go check that out. It is in limited release right now. If you do have an opportunity to check it out, I highly recommend to go see that ASAP.
Can you tell me what time it is?
And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for watching Scary World. Don't forget to drop a comment down below and hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and tell all your friends about CorpseFeed. Check out The Morgue, our official CorpseFeed podcast that you can catch anywhere you get your podcast streams. Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, anywhere you get your streams, we are there. Go catch CorpseFeed on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, X, Facebook, Twitch. We are there. Again, folks, don't forget to come back to the channel and subscribe. We have videos for you all throughout the week. And we will see you on Wednesday for a new episode. Remember, it's a scary world out there, but we are here to walk you through it.
I just wanted to say goodbye.